Hello, I'm Julia Henry, an undergraduate biomedical engineering student, and throughout this semester I've been working on a project themed Crowdfunding for Sustainable Development in Rural India. My mentors on this project have been Farouk Mistry and Janet K. Allen, professors in the University of Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering, as well as Dr. Ashok Das, a social activist in India who runs a non-profit called Sun Moksha. To get an understanding of the reasoning behind this project, it's important to have a knowledge of the needs of the villages in rural India and the work done through Sun Moksha. Many rural Indian villages don't have access to clean water, electricity, education, or technology. The lack of these systems greatly reduces the quality of life of the population and enables continuing poverty. The engineers at Sun Moksha, a local organization, have developed solutions to meet these needs, but they do require funding to implement these solutions. The specialty of using the sustainable methods that they do means that the villages will continue to be able to use these systems for extended periods of time without constant money or fuel. Investing in these communities also allows the villagers to create or elevate existing business practices that will result in more income in the future. So, pictured here, we have on the upper left, the project is called Aquanet, and that's in a village called Kayanza. To the right there is MES, which is Microsystems, and that's a village called Chotki. In the lower right is Nanogrid, that's an energy system in a village called Kudagon. And the bottom left here is Smart Village, the education system in Chotki, which I mentioned earlier. Hello, I'm Julia Henry, and I'm working a little bit more about sustainable development and the initiatives offered with Janet K. Allen and Farouk Mistry of the project. Many villages in rural India don't have access to things such as clean water or electricity. Help a small social entrepreneurs, such as the employees of Sun Moksha, have designed initiatives to bring such technology to the villages, but need funding. The objective of this project is to help a small donor decide how to distribute a donation. Donors will be able to choose arrives at the donation impact predictor homepage, where they can select their desired dollar value in mind, which routes to the donation options, or select the amount they want to donate, which segues into the next step. If they select donation, the donor can choose what percentage of their donation they want to go to each project type. Water, electricity, education, and technology. They want to give. Each donation option selected will generate a predicted impact which is water, based on data from previous projects that has been incorporated into a system dynamics algorithm. So, for each area they choose to donate to, average, and worst outcomes of the intervention graph. The donor can choose whether to donate to the selected project or explore other donation options Sun Moksha offers to better the quality of life of those living in poverty. And then finally, once that's donated, Sun Moksha will be able to continue the projects and the impact will be seen in the villages. All right, so more on depth in the solution of predicting the effects of donation. To increase donations, it's important to know what the donors are interested in knowing. We found that donors are motivated by a number of things: passion for the cause, personal knowledge of the outcome, and trust in the organization. We can't do much about the donor's passion for the cause, but we can increase their personal knowledge of the outcome and their trust in the organization by showing this graphical representation of what the predicted effect of donation is. So, again with our original objective, we want to help this donor decide how to distribute the donation. There's two paths that the donors can follow. The first one is the singular donation area. This is if they already know what they want to donate to. So here they would select project type, and then they could select which type of project they want to donate to: Aquanet, education, nanogrid, or technology. So once they select that area, they'll be able to enter a dollar amount and proceed directly to the donation medium if they so choose. The second path is if the donor has multiple donation areas they're considering donating to. In this scenario, the donor would select donation amount, and then based on the amount they suggest, they'll be able to select what percentage they want to give to each project. And there will be information provided about what the different types of projects are and what the people who work at Sun Moksha consider the most essential needs. So, once the donor submits what percentage they want to give to each area, it'll proceed to the system dynamics step, which is next. Both Path 1 with a single donation area and Path 2 with multiple donation areas route to this third step, which shows the predicted effects of the donation. For each category the donor is considering, a system dynamics report will be generated that will show the predicted effect in a certain area. For example, if the donor chooses to donate to technology, or at least is considering that, the system dynamics report generated will relate to how much that increases small and micro enterprises, which is the way a business can organize itself and track expenses and outcome. If the donor chooses to donate to energy, bringing solar panels to villages, then a report about household consumption of electricity will be generated. If they choose to donate to education, it will be enrollment in said programs, and that one will also cause further effects down the road, such as creating more small and micro enterprises. If they choose to donate to water, then it will generate a report about agriculture production, because that's one of the main industries of these villages. Also, for each of the reports, there will be a best case scenario, a sufficient, which is kind of an average case scenario, and a worst case scenario shown on the graphs. You can see the worst case scenario is the lowest one. That's what it is already like in the village. Sufficient is some increase, and best would be if the project was fully embraced and completely successful in the village. The system dynamics model is based on past performances in similar villages. But of course, it's possible the donation won't turn out the way the donor wants. Regardless, our end goal is informed donation. We want the donor to understand what they're donating to and what the possible outcomes are. If they don't like the outcome of the system dynamics model, they can start again with the system and go through and subdivide their donation in a different way, try a different project, and see if that fits their interests more. They can go through this system as many times as they would like. We want them to have as much information as they need to feel comfortable donating to this project. There will also be some additional benefits to using the system dynamics model and an online donation. First of all, there would be a digital donation record, which is important if the person wants to deduct it from their taxes or any similar record-keeping purposes. Second, they have the possibility of custom donation. They can subdivide their donation between these 4 domains in any way they would like. Additionally, it will be a simple transactional transfer, so there won't be a lot of red tape. You can simply do a credit card or a bank account. There will also be an email update list, so the employees of Sun Moksha can send out updates to their donors. Finally, our end goal is funding these charitable programs and helping the people of these villages, who you can see in the pictures over here. And additionally, the system dynamics model will only become more accurate as more villages are funded and more projects are performed. For a final addendum, I'm participating in this research through the Honors Engineering Research Experience at OU, which is a program for undergrads who would like to become involved in research, but want a strong mentorship. So through this learning experience, I've tried a lot of different things, made a lot of mistakes, and learned a lot of different techniques for work with nonprofits and work with website design. So here are some of my specific takeaways. I learned about deep reading, how to become knowledgeable about a subject that I had absolutely no experience in, and eventually contribute so I can figure out what the donors want and help the people employed at Sun Moksha. I learned about Vensim, which is connected to our system dynamics model that is the visualizing tool that had the best, worst, and sufficient case scenarios. And finally, I learned about website design, which I was familiar with before, but it was very challenging to integrate Vensim and also prioritize the donor flexibility over technological simplicity. Participating in this has been a very challenging and enlightening experience for me. I'm very appreciative of my mentors, Janet K. Allen and Frog Mistry, for guiding me through this. And you can see over here on the right is some contact information if you would like to know more about me or this project. Thank you.